such a drag editing, but we can manually edit these drag markers and make it better. Okay, in the previous video we did some audio quantizing, which fixed up the timing issues that we had and snapped everything to the grid according to our notes that we had laid down. So we did that by a couple ways, by doing it auto, by letting GarageBand analyze the waveforms and doing it for us, and then we did move a couple of those by hand. Now I'm going to take a closer look at how to move those by hand by editing the drag markers. Okay, so we're going to focus in on this section right here within the track editor. Now what I want you to pay attention to are the peaks. See how the shapes of these waveforms are at a peak at the very beginning, because that is one note right here of a note being played, and the next note is here. So you just got to really pay attention to how these waveforms are shaped, and you can really visually see when notes are being played. So this is one note, that's a second note, this is the third note, this is the fourth note, and sometimes if you can't really tell, of course the best piece of equipment in a studio are your ears. So all you have to do is play back and watch closely to play back. As you're listening, just notice where the play mark is so you can kind of differentiate where the notes are and such. And at the same time, notice where the notes are off timing. So, I mean, we can obviously see how this first note is before the fifth marker, the fifth measure, and that should be snapped. So let's go ahead and listen at what we have before we edit some of these drag markers. Now I'm going to rewind this back just a little bit more. Okay. Okay, and we're just going to focus in on this first part. So what I want you to notice is, see how the mouse, once I hover over this, it turns into that line with like kind of looks like two different waveforms on the side of it. That places your drag markers. So you usually want to click on where you think the beginning of a note, and sometimes if you've already clicked at a spot, because I clicked on this earlier, it shows you the drag marker. So if I wanted to place one on the very beginning of this note, all I have to do is hover over it, click, and once I click, it should automatically snap to either the 5 right here where it should be, or to this one, depending on which one is closer on where I click. So let's go ahead and click and see what happens. Okay, so as you can see, once I clicked, it snapped to the 5, and I can easily click and hold, or click and drag to the left or to the right to extend or squish the timing, or extend the timing if I wanted it to play longer. So let me go ahead and place that there, just extend it out, that first note, and it might be the second note as well. I think, let me take a look. Yeah, I think the second note was in there as well. If you don't want the second note to go with it, you just click again, and that should solve the problem. There we go. Yeah, see, so now I'm taking only the first note. So just in case a GarageBand grabs more than you want and you just want that first note right here, just go ahead and click on the next note. That way it kind of separates and you can differentiate, like, hey GarageBand, I just want to take this note. Okay, so I can grab that note, extend it one full measure, and let's take a listen to that. Rewind it. Okay, so as you can see, it's kind of like exaggeration, and what's really cool is you can stretch it out and it still sounds almost natural, like if that's how I played it. Anyway, I'm gonna Apple Z and undo that, and let's say we added one somewhere like the second note and we didn't want that there. Well, we know how to add them by hovering over and clicking them. And I want to get rid of that guy. Well, you just simply hover over the X button, or yeah, the X icon, and just click on it, and that gets rid of that guy. So now if I hover over, it's not there anymore. And if I simply wanted, if I realize that was a mistake, I can always just click again and add it again. It's simple as that. So that's a little bit of a closer look, and enjoy editing